With the Tech World podcast, we're going to be doing some new different. We're going to be having more conversations about what's going on in the world. Um, for those that don't know me, I'm an information system security officer. I've been working in the GovTech space for 5 years. Throughout my time, I've met some great people. This guy I know longer before I even got into tech. And to be honest with you, without him, I don't even know if I'll be in tech. He's the one that kind of introduced me to information system security, and ever since then, I got into it, got in a job out the mud, and then, he always been there. But I'm gonna let Osasu introduce himself. So go ahead.
Hey, well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. I know a lot of people are fans of Tech Woke, are active viewers and everything. But my name is Osasu Osaji. Very close friend to Christopher Okpala, the founder, owner of Tech Woke. We've known each other, Chris, since undergrad days at Bowie State. Both going into Bowie State, trying to get our criminal justice degrees, and we're far, far removed of being in the criminal justice market, or industry. So right now we in tech. I started in tech as a cybersecurity engineer for General Dynamics Mission Systems. So that's where I got a lot of my experience in regards to learning Linux, learning other tools. I had a brief exposure to RMF, especially when it came to Stigs and also ACAS, because I had to do a lot of implementing or the ACAS scans into the different servers that we had. So that's where I got a lot of my exposure, and then I shifted into doing more RMF when I worked for this company called Marathon TS. That was my first government contracting job with DISA, and I've been on many different programs at DISA, just doing ISO work and just trying to secure these ATOs. That's all it's about. Because if we ain't securing ATOs, we ain't got a job, baby.
Yeah. You call me by my first name. You're like Christopher. You're like Christopher.
Hey, I gotta call you like your mama call you,
So those that's watching, if you're watching on YouTube, watching on LinkedIn, again, we're doing a live stream talking about different cybersecurity topics, especially some that just came out recently. So if you're in there, just make sure you like and make sure you say something. If you're watching us, just say, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? What's up? How you doing? Just say something. So we're going to go into some topics that we've been talking about. There's three various topics that we've been talking about lately, and some that just hit the news. One of the three topics that we're going to talk about is first the lawsuit between Elon Musk and OpenAI. That's a big topic. A lot of people are not talking about, and it's talking about how it can affect even the government space. What did this lawsuit can do? We got K Young. Hey, K Young, how you doing? Appreciate you for dropping in. Thank you for saying a hi. If anybody pops on, make sure you say hi, say something. We're also going to talk about why Microsoft and OpenAI are slow with separating, or explaining the separating situation between OpenAI and Microsoft, to kind of talk about what's going on with that. And then lastly, how AI governance is creating one of the biggest job opportunities in the tech industry. So we're going to hit a lot of those topics. I mean, how do you feel about that, O?
I mean, I'm ready to hit these topics. I know that's what we got on the drawing board for today. So I'm definitely looking forward to talking about it. And it's crazy because I don't think a lot of people have really even got their feet wet with talking about these various topics, because it affects not only us, it affects the world. So I think it's important that we let the world know what's actually going on.
Yeah, yes, sir. Most definitely. So we're going to go into it. The first topic for everybody, if you just joined on, we're going to talk about Elon Musk and what's going on in the OpenAI situation. So what I'm going to do is just going to share my screen, and we're just going to kind of talk about it, read through it, and just give our open opinions. And if you have an opinion on it, just say something. So I'm about to share my screen in 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm pulling it up. Can y'all see my screen? Oh, you see it? Okay.
I see it.
Okay, so we're going to read for the article that was going on. So basically, Elon Musk testifies against OpenAI, seeking Sam Altman's ouster as an ouster. Okay. A courtroom brawl between two of the tech industry's most powerful leaders, Tesla CEO Elon Musk and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is underway in Oakland, California, in a case that could transform the world's most important artificial intelligence companies. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today because the defendants in this case stole a charity. Steve Molo, an attorney for Musk, said in his opening statement, in this lawsuit, Musk has argued that Altman steered the company they co-founded a decade ago, ChatGPT creator OpenAI, away from its original mission as a nonprofit to develop an advanced AI benefit for humanity and free of profit motives. The case hinges on a decision on by OpenAI's founder that they needed to create a for-profit entity to tap into capital markets for funding on a scale necessary to build advanced AI. When discussion about who would run the for-profit business broke down in 2018, Musk left. The following year, OpenAI launched a for-profit division, which since ballooned in value. At the end of the March, the company said it's worth 825 billion. That's a lot of money, right?
That's a lot of money, and I think to me that's letting me know why Musk is trying to get back into the game because he knows that they're heading into a full quarter IPO. So he's like, "Look, man, they about to make some big time money." So it's to me the writing is on the wall. I don't know what you think about it. It's the writing's on the wall to me.
I agree. Let me finish it, then we can go into it. Now, us and the lawyers argue that Altman and others profited illegally through profit conversions. They enriched themselves, they made themselves a powerful, and they breached the very basic principles of which the charity was founded. According to his suit, Musk is seeking a rollback of that charge that once Altman, President Gregman, and the financial banker of Microsoft disgorged tens of billions of dollars in ill-gotten gains and flowed from it. Musk is seeking Altman's ouster as a director of OpenAI nonprofit board and removal of both Altman and Brockman. As part of the opening statement, Musk to stand up, and he did, waving at people in the courtroom. And we ain't gonna go into all of this, but we're gonna just talk about what the main thing is. So, the main thing is okay. The main thing is originally Elon Musk, and again, if we're making points, remember to put allegedly in there. So Elon Musk basically gave Sam Altman some money. He gave him some money. I think he gave him a couple million. Whatever happened, he left out. He thought that the company was going to be a nonprofit or something going on with that situation. And recently, he made it for profit, and the company has been worth a lot more money than it did in the past. And now Elon's kind of tackling. So let's get on the first part. Who do you think is right and who do you think is wrong in this situation? Oh, you there? Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody just called, so I had to put on Do Not Disturb.
No problem. Who do you think is right and who do you think is wrong on this situation? And again, if you're on this topic, we're talking about Elon Musk and we're talking about the Sam Altman lawsuit, and we're kind of discussing what's going on with that. And again, who do you think right and who do you think wrong on this?
I mean, I always go with my gut feeling. Typically, even before I kind of looked at the article myself and I did my own research. But the loudest in the room is normally the most suspicious to me. And I think Elon, he started this company. He was a co-founder when it came to OpenAI in 2015. He felt as though that he was basically duped on the deal because they were supposed to do OpenAI for a nonprofit, right? Because allegedly they wanted to make sure that this was going to help humanity. Was that really the case? Is that what Elon was really doing it for? I'm not really too sure because according to some of the research that I was reading up on, Elon wanted to put OpenAI as a subsidiary underneath Tesla. So to me, I'm like, well, if you're saying that this is supposed to be a nonprofit and it's supposed to help humanity according to you, allegedly, then why would you want to put it under Tesla? So if you're putting it under Tesla, that means you want to assume full control. So that's going to bump out Altman and also the president, I think his name is Brockman, out of it. And it was kind of like, nah, we're not going for that, right? So to me, and you know how Elon is, it's a power trip. And I think he just felt as though, well, I still want to assume control over this vehicle, which is OpenAI, because we see how much money it's amassing at this point, 852 billion, and they're heading into they possibly maybe going into a full quarter IPO, right? So now we're going to have open shares for the company. He's just trying to get back into the game. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, so from me doing my own research and kind of looking into it, allegedly Elon wanted to help with this company to benefit humanity. Usually, when you put money into a nonprofit, you're just trying to just give them money to work on stuff. You're not really trying to get any shares. You're just trying to, hey, it's gone. It's a tax write-off. So, like you said, he put it under Tesla. He sees that OpenAI is making a lot of money. To be honest with you, OpenAI is kind of running the AI industry. What a lot of the audience don't know, OpenAI has contracts with the federal government. They have partnerships with various cloud organizations, and we're going to talk about it later.
Yeah.
They have partnerships with we're going to talk AWS, all these other ones. To be honest with you, OpenAI wants and guarantors. I don't agree. What I will say is when they changed it to a for-profit, I don't know what was the purpose. They were still helping and creating AI. I do agree. Hey, you might need some more funding. So when you want to get more funding, maybe you might want to IPO or turn into a for-profit company. So yeah, it's just my opinion. It's kind of a little iffy on saying, hey, this is for humanity, but we all know it's kind of more about money.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you kind of use that soft title, so it doesn't trigger people, and also it sounds a little bit more presentable. But obviously, as them making it for profit, I mean, they had to pump more money into OpenAI, and they got all these deals with these different cloud providers. So I think that's more of what they was gearing towards. But in regards to who's right between Altman and also Elon Musk, I think at the end of the day, it's just about who really wants to have more control over OpenAI. I mean, I get it. Me and you started a company and I had a lot of, I poured some money or put some money into it, and we just had diversion. I guess we diverged when it came to the mission. Then yeah, one of us is going to have to jump out of it. And I think Elon said, well, I'm going to leave, but then I guess he didn't necessarily believe that OpenAI was going to get to this point of success. So now it's like you're trying to creep back through the back door, but the back door is locked. Right. And that's all it is.
And then Elon got all these companies. He got Tesla. And he's making enough money. Like, dude, you got.
I mean, he got government contracts. Yeah, how much more money can you imagine? It's like you kind of on top of the world right now.
And then he has his own. He has Grok also.
Yeah.
So
he has his own AI, right? He has XAI.
Yeah, he has all that. I'm like, dude, what's going on? To the audience too, if you make sure you type in, if you're watching, make sure you type in the comments if you have anything you want to say. What is your thoughts on the situation? Yeah, so we'll see on that. I mean, what do you think is what do you think is going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen on this situation?
I don't think it's going to work out in Elon's favor.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I mean, I think he's trying to pull all the strings that he possibly can. But at the end of the day, if both of y'all made a split and the boarding members, right, necessarily didn't want you to be part of it, because they saw that was the angle that you were trying to take, then I think all the data points back to that. So I think the lawsuit is going to fall flat at the end of the day. And I think as I was doing research, there was emails that kind of show, or that was hinting at the fact that allegedly that Elon kind of knew the direction that they was going in. So
yeah, I mean, it's all about money. I ain't gonna lie. If I put like 20, a good couple millions in something, I'm saying, oh, I have a stake in there. I co-founded it allegedly. I'm gonna try to see what I can do. But I don't think that the board is going to come down, or Sam Altman is not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. And you also got to keep in mind, AI is slowly, right, getting to that point where it's going to become AGI. And once they achieve AGI, That's when AI is just super intelligent, surpassing any human, being able to reason and do other things, not just coding or writing your essays and stuff like that. I mean, we're talking about being able to make human reasoning decisions. And I mean, obviously that just raises the stakes at this point, because who doesn't want to have control over that?
Yeah, me too. I mean, and again, tokens also in the future, tokens are going to be very valuable. They're already kind of valuable on Claude, especially if you running like with Open Claude and a lot of
Yeah.
these tools. So you want it's all a power struggle, especially when we go towards what we doing what's that where we going to quantum. Once quantum hits,
Yeah.
it's going to superpower all of this, and like you said, we're going into AGI. Once we get to AGI, we'll be lucky. It's going to probably be universal income. To be honest, it has its own conscience.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're definitely knocking at the door at a global threat.
Yeah, man. So to sum it up with this one, we just want to put a nail in the hat. It's just about a money play. It's pretty much a money play. Ain't nothing going to really
Absolutely.
happen. And if something happens, it's probably going to be like a what's it called a settlement. It might be a
Yeah.
settlement.
They might come down to a settlement, and normally when it comes to these big business big wigs, like that's what they do. Look, man, let's just go ahead and settle for this amount, because obviously this is drawing a lot of publicity. And when you keep having to pay these lawyer fees, people are like, look, man, let's just go ahead and just shake hands and keep them moving.
Say keep it moving. Hey, I gotta keep it moving. I don't got time for this, man.
I don't got time for this. I think the guy, what's the name, Altman could even make one of the hearings, because he was doing something with AWS.
Man,
I mean,
got
he got a million things to do, man. He ain't got time to be a court.
man, so I gotta send my representative.
Right.
So anybody that's watching the audience, what's your thoughts on the Elon Musk situation, OpenAI situation? If you have any comments, just say it. Or if you just drop it in, just say hi, what's up? Just let us know we there so we can respond there if you have any questions. Okay, so we're gonna put a nail in the hat on that one. So the next topic that we're going to hit, we're going to talk about why Microsoft and OpenAI are slowly separating. And we're just going to kind of hit on some of the topics with that. I'm gonna put up an article, get through a little bit, and just kind of talk about some of the talking points with that. But with the talking points currently, what we're going to talk about basically what's happening. Microsoft invested billions into OpenAI. OpenAI is using and they had exclusive rights. That's what happened. They had exclusive rights with Microsoft. So now with OpenAI, it's kind of moving on to like different platforms like Oracle or Google or AWS. Microsoft is currently building their own OpenAI, their own AI module. So that's kind of some of the situations on this take. And we're going to kind of look into some things that we can talk about with this. I haven't pulled up an article. What's your thoughts on that, O? You think that's a good thing?
I think it is. I guess one of the questions that I have as OpenAI is now going to be venturing off to other cloud service providers, especially AWS, because I think AWS had a $50 billion deal that kind of started this whole, I guess, war. Well, not necessarily war, but Microsoft getting ready to get off that exclusive deal or partnership that they had with OpenAI. So, I mean, when Amazon puts $50 billion on the table, right, because I think they had OpenAI had one of their services called Frontier. So they was trying to get in on that. I mean, obviously, OpenAI couldn't pass up on a deal like that, because Microsoft Azure is not the only service provider. So that kind of locks them in, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, Microsoft was the one that was winning that deal. But now they have this non-exclusive, I think, up until 2032.
Yeah, it's
So
32.
so that opens the door for, as you said, Oracle and AWS and all these other service providers, so they can now start to get these, AI modules, on their cloud service platform. So I think that's good, man. I think that helps everybody.
Yeah, it helps out a lot. As a matter of fact, I forgot about that. It's not expiring right now. You have up until 2032. So they still had a deal to 2022, 23, whatever. But they can still, negotiate things for the future. And again, the government space, for example, they have a cloud environment contract. They AWS, Oracle, all these big ones. as a business person, I wouldn't want to be stuck with this, you know. So
Right. I wouldn't. Right.
and for so I that's a hey, it's a good deal. I mean, OpenAI is going to be is looking like to be the mecca for
Right.
what we got going on now. But what's your thoughts on
Right.
that?
No, I think it is. I mean, OpenAI is because you got to think about it. Microsoft was kind of the monopoly, right, in that sector because they're getting all the new OpenAI services, modules, and all that stuff, right? And now it's like, well, OpenAI is like, all right, that's cool, but we got some friends over here that we trying to rock with as well. So now you're developing these different partnerships. And I think that helps OpenAI to now become its own monopoly, right? Now they kind of control the board and not just the chess pieces. So to me, I think that's good. I think that benefits both sides. And even with Microsoft, now they don't have to pay revenue shares, right?
Yeah,
Because essentially, OpenAI was getting a lot of money from them using their services. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be getting revenue shares from the AWSs, from the Oracles, and so forth and so on. So it's a win-win deal to me, man, if you think about it.
and just to double back, and this is kind of segmented into the other topic that we have. Like the main thing with this is creating a lot of jobs, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. And I know we're going to talk about that, but it's definitely creating a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs are definitely going to come about this because now these other service providers are getting in the game. And then like you said, we're going to talk about it, but how do we now secure AI?
So let's get into this one. This is the biggest thing we're going to talk about. And with all this AI talk, and again, if the audience is listening, do you have any comments on OpenAI, the Elon Musk? Do you have any comments on the Microsoft and OpenAI situation? What we're about to get into now is kind of like, what is the opportunities with you hearing all this news about AI, all this stuff? What is the next opportunity with this? So the first thing I wanted to talk about, like, is helping out create a lot of roles. Again, I'm always going to favor it because we work in GRC, we work in RMF. The thing about AI, and I'm gonna ask you, like, what do you think AI is? What am I trying to say? Do you think AI would take our jobs, especially in the compliance space?
I don't think right away. I don't think it would take our jobs right away, but I do believe there is going to be an extreme gap, right? And I'm starting to see that in the job market now, right? You do have to have more technical skills when it comes to doing something like what we're doing in regards to RMF or compliance or being an information system security officer. So when it comes to AI, there's jobs for that now. And a lot of these jobs are just now coming into play, like an AI security specialist. There's other jobs that are coming into play, but there are also a lot of jobs that are just becoming automated, right? When it comes to doing the basic vulnerability scanning, do you need a human to kind of help you just push the button? Not necessarily, So those jobs are going to kind of teeter off over time. It's not immediate, but I think the biggest question is everybody needs to shift over and learn AI and to learn how can we secure AI. And there's jobs for that. And I think people look at AI and they think that it's a it's a clean cut tool. You still there?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Yeah, I'm having some technical issues. 1 second, but keep going.
No worries. Yep. So they believe that it's a clear cut tool. There was actually I did some research and I seen this study about a tool. I think it was called Compass or Compass. That was something that was used for criminal sentencing, right? And when they did some research on this particular tool, this was an AI tool. They found out that there was some racial bias that was ingested into this tool. So that's one of the biggest issues, right? So that can't replace a human because we still have to make sure that any AI service or module that's being used doesn't have any biases that are ingested into it. So that's why we're still, even though we're using AI, we still have to vet it. I kind of think of the example of, yes, like you have a container, right? And the container is secure, but do we know whatever that's inside of the container is actually secure or not? But I think people just believe that AI is just it's the nice new shiny red car, but we don't necessarily realize that yes, because it's nice and shiny, doesn't necessarily mean that the interior still doesn't need to be looked at. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on there. Like the main thing is, I've interviewed somebody on this. I said, "Do you think it's going to take compliance jobs or take a lot of cybersecurity jobs?" The one thing that somebody told me was like, "Hey, there's going to be with AI, and as you know, there's more vulnerabilities. There's going to create more vulnerabilities. Like for example, AI can crash. AI can wipe your data out. Sometimes AI can be very biased. It can
Right.
be very biased to you. And the thing about that's making the AI biased is not the AI itself. It's
Hmm.
humans that ingest information into it to make it biased.
That's
So
correct.
yeah, and even in the government space, I will say for myself, I use AI for my business. You still have to make sure it's secure. You don't want to put too much or connect it to your emails without proper authentication. Because
Right.
again, you can hack the AI.
Right. Right.
But I do think you can use it as a tool, especially with building agents with the agentic AI. You can use it to build agents, things that help you in cybersecurity. I did see something crazy with Claude Mythos. Claude
Hmm.
Mythos basically, what hackers used to do, used to sit down and review systems and going through their ports and protocols and vulnerabilities. With Claude Mythos, it tells you all the vulnerabilities for very big. Are you familiar with bug bounties? Oh,
Nah. Actually, I think I have heard of bug bounties. I'll take that
so
back. Yeah.
so a bug bounty is when a company, for the audience that don't know, is when a company uh basically pays you to hack their system. If you find a
Right.
vulnerability in their system, they'll pay you sometimes in $1 million. But
Yeah,
with
I had a
Claude,
friend that actually did that. Yeah.
oh,
Go ahead.
and then
Hmm.
with Claude Mythos can check all of that. For me, I would use AI as a tool, but
Right.
I overall I wouldn't. I wouldn't. It's not taking over your jobs. Now, when we get to the AGI, I don't know about that. That's a different.
Yeah, I think that's taking everybody's job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's all across the board. But I think right now we do have to put certain guardrails, and that's where the NIST AI framework comes into play, right? Because it has some of the same ways of trying to mitigate risk, just like the NIST 800-37, and we're very much familiar with that because that's the RMS framework that we normally go by. But now, when it comes down to the NIST AI framework, it also has its own things that we have to use in order for us to mitigate and identify risk when it comes to AI. And then even with FedRAMP, like how is FedRAMP going to add an AI layer? Because we just talked about how cloud services are using AI. So I still think that we're a long ways before jobs are just being taken away from us. But I do believe there's going to be a gap, and that's the thing.
Yeah, even with AI in the government, we're moving to aisle 7, which is kind of like more of like the top secret side with AI.
Yeah.
The
Hmm.
Pentagon just signed a contract um, with AI. I forgot which AI system, but what I will say is like if it's moving to that point, it's creating, like you said, knowingness. Again, that document is not official yet, but it's good just to understand the processes in place. And then too, the thing that was gonna another vulnerability is gonna probably hit the government soon that people can get on to is like shadow AI. Are you familiar with that?
Shadow AI? No,
So
I'm
so
not familiar with that.
shadow AI is when you take AI out of the business and like use it on your personal laptop. You know,
Mm.
so you use it on your personal, and they can't even keep a track that you're even using it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's creating that issue. But it's like
Mhm.
if you're putting all this AI in the government, you still got to make it faster. That's all I'm
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, but that's the thing about the government, right? They can be using an old AI module that's from 2022 to deal with national security concerns in 2026. So I mean, how is the government going to adopt something like that when they slowly deploy these things into their environments? So I don't know how that's going to work because AI is constantly evolving at a very rapid rate.
Yeah, but it's going to create some opportunities. Like even just to figure that out, man. Like if somebody can put their own framework together or start talking about policies or going live and talking about it, because these are the issues. And again, working in the government is a privilege. Making sure that these systems are secure is going to be the biggest thing. I would say that. So AI, AI risk management, AI GRC, that's kind of the biggest thing. And from what I've been seeing on the job market, I don't know about you, but a lot of people are hiring for that role, but there's no set way on how to do it.
Yeah, I mean they even got AI red teaming. I mean
Yeah,
that's another job as well. So I mean those jobs, and I was looking at this article. They said that job is very much new in the last few years. Like those positions started to pop up. So the opportunities are there. You
like
know,
and
new
then
jobs are coming up, but a lot of jobs are now starting to kind of go into the void.
yeah,
If you will.
and then also too is open up like say like if you can build agents or if you can use and create workflows. To be honest with you, I pay for it. You can figure out
Hmm.
how to create these workflows. So it's a big space. But how would you navigate it based on what we talking about? Like what would you do?
I mean, I think the most important thing is to identify the risk with AI, right? Because I don't think we fully know the potential. I mean, even when you're looking at a system, right? We're talking about a system, and we're going through the steps of RMF. We're adding a system into our environment. The first thing is you need to categorize it, right? Like, what is the potential risk and impact of AI, especially in the government space? And the government just doesn't want to have that exposure yet because they know the ramifications. Now, when it comes to the private sector, a lot of these other private companies, they may not necessarily care and they may not necessarily want to invest into mitigating the risk with AI or even identify what the risk can be because, again, it's the shiny new toy. But with the government, they can't take that risk. So I do believe that once they're able to develop a framework that's really going to help when it comes to securing AI, it's going to take some time before it really gets into the federal space. That's just my thoughts.
In my ball and also too with the categorization, like shouldn't it be all high? Because if it happens, that's catastrophic, right?
Right. It is. It is. I mean, just imagine the amount of data it's ingesting, it's saving, it's storing.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's high, high, high across the board. It may even have very high across
Yeah,
the board.
yeah, we are moving. NIST is adapting some frameworks to help push this off, and potentially some things are in place, but we will see. But I will
Yeah,
say there's a lot of opportunities, man.
it's a lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs. I just think that we just got to go ahead and build out our resumes.
Yeah.
It's, that's it.
you
That's
better
it.
you better go figure out how to use it, man. And maybe and you gotta learn how to be an entrepreneur at this point, man.
At this point, man. So yeah, definitely got to learn more skill sets.
So what I would tell the people too, like especially if you're in cybersecurity and you want to adapt, just understand different boundaries, understand how AI can affect your systems, use that to help build out things that can help adapt for AI because the government is definitely going to start looking into these things and making sure that they're hiring professionals to do it. But you don't want to wait on it because if you wait on it, when the gold rush does hit, then you're going to be out short, and then you're going to have to wait for the next one, which is going to be quantum because
Yeah.
quantum is not secure right now, to be honest with you.
No, I mean it's still years away before public use. So, but it's coming. So people, we definitely need to tap in and study quantum as well.
Yeah, for the audience, we still got a little bit extra time. You know, we went through some of the topics. We talked about Elon Musk and OpenAI situation. We talked about OpenAI and Microsoft, and we actually touched in some topics about AI and government opportunities, what you can do with AI, and talking about how secure it is. Do y'all have any? If you have any questions, comments, concerns, just say something. Put it in the chat. And also, too, if you're on YouTube, share the video. If you're on LinkedIn, share the video. Just make sure you put something in the chat. So we're gonna give it a couple minutes. Does anybody have any questions on this or have anything you want to say?
AI.
AI is crazy, man. Like this
Yeah.
is something everybody need to be talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's the biggest topic. It's probably the top topic on Twitter or
Yeah,
X.
because even with me, I was trying to ignore it for a long time. I remember when ChatGPT first came out, we was like, man, what is this?
Yeah. We definitely we gave it no time of day. We was like, okay, whatever. And then you starting to hear more news about it, and you hearing that other people have been using it, and then you're hearing the benefits of it. Once you hear how it can benefit you, especially at work or just with everyday tasks, that's when I was on board.
Yeah,
So I had to get on board with that. But I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, like OpenAI or Anthropic, right? Claude. I think one of the two, I believe it's Claude, is like the most downloaded app now. So a lot of people are getting into using AI because again, it's a tool that just helps. I mean, just to if you needed to build a report for you, you have all the information. It would just build a report because some of those things are very mundane tasks that you don't want to do
yeah,
and we talk about it all the time. Like we just hate to do things manually. But if you have something that can kind of just automate it, I mean, that's what AI does. And who doesn't want that?
yeah. I was playing with AI recently. I went on OpenClaw and I saw you could build a whole website on there. I was like, man, you know how much this costs? A website used to cost like $500 to $1,000.
Yeah, yeah, it does. I mean, before, you obviously I use things like a Fiverr, you get somebody on there to help you, but yeah, somebody who just messages us.
Yeah. So K Young, shout out to hey K Young, how you doing? Hi, I'm not in tech yet. Where do you all suggest I start your career rise? You want to take that over? Take that first, O?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. I think first you got to look at the landscape. You got to look to see what your interest may be, because I think a lot of people when they hear tech and then automatically they think the money, right? And if you're going into it with just primarily focus on the amount of money that you can make in tech, then I think you're going to find yourself uh, not getting in the way that you think you would, or not really finding the opportunities that you want. So I think you need to narrow down your search, figure out exactly what it is that you want to do in tech, networking, programming, if you want to get into cyber, and then start studying, researching, seeing what it is that you need to know in order for you to get into those said fields. But don't just say that I want to get into tech and then you don't necessarily know or you're not able to narrow down exactly what it is that you want to do. Narrow down, figure out, okay, what this is, what certs do I need? And then I think the biggest thing, and Chris can definitely take it away with this, you got to network. You got to get around people who are already in the space because that's where you can kind of just be a sponge and absorb more knowledge and also find opportunities to really get into those spaces.
Yeah, I agree. Don't do it for the money. I mean, this is a very cutthroat industry, to be honest with you. If you're not adapting, if you're not trying to get better, if you don't take securing seriously, then it's not the space for you. But what I would do is just what I would suggest to somebody that's trying to get into space, go where the easiest entry point is and get experience. For back in the day, when I was trying to get into the space, I was applying for everything. I didn't even know what the roles were. O told me about GRC. I had the background for it, and I just went to it back in those days. So I took that route. But I would just find the easiest, less get in points, which can be IT, and then slowly work your way up. It's easier to get in IT than it is in cybersecurity, and you never know, it can lead you to other opportunities. So that's what I
Yeah.
was. Don't do it for the money.
That's a valid point, Chris. I think the easier barrier of entry is good. A lot of people try to get in through like the help desk way. I think that's good. You get a lot of exposure that way. But yeah, that's dope.
So you said Nathan, you said blank screen. Do you see? Are y'all seeing a blank screen on y'all end? Okay, let me know. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna get one more minute. Does anybody have any last questions before we round out the live? Again, we talked about Elon Musk, the OpenAI situation, OpenAI and Microsoft separating, and we're kind of talking about some of the opportunities with AI compliance, just some of the things like that. But if you have any questions, we're gonna give it about 1 more minute, and then we're gonna close out. But I hope y'all enjoying the live. If you are, make sure you like, comment, just tell me, just say hi, just so we can know you're there. You don't have to be too shy, you know. Okay, so and nobody's talking. Oh, but hey, where can the audience find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Asasu Asaji. You can find me there. And you find me on Facebook. Same thing, Asasu Asaji. But definitely reach out to me on LinkedIn. Message me. You can, like Chris said, say hi. So yeah, that's on LinkedIn, Asasu Asaji. And I can drop my handle. That's okay. Chris. Yep, I'll drop it in there.
We're gonna be doing this live every week, just kind of doing live streams with different people, and O's gonna come back a couple more times. And hey, I appreciate you even coming on this live, man. You provided a lot of insight on what's going on in space.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Definitely honored and blessed to be on the Tech Woke platform, Tech Woke podcast. Man, I appreciate it, brother.
All right, we're gonna let O put his handle. If y'all got any more questions, put it in. Yeah. Hey, you're blank. You got a blank screen. Unless you need me to. Yeah. You want me to put it in for you?
Yeah, if you can. I'm just having some difficulties. Yeah.
Yeah, having some technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, sorry, we're having some technical difficulties, but
yep. I think Chris jumped out.
Yeah.
You back? I can hear you, but I can't see you. There you go.
Yeah. Let me try one more time. Having some camera issues. Let me fix it one more time. Okay, there we go.
All right.
So we're having some issues, but if you want to check out go to LinkedIn, type in Osasu Osaji. You can
I dropped the link in the chat.
All right, let me.
You see it?
I don't see it. I think you put it in the you put it in the private chat. I put it.
Okay. I got you.
Let me put it in the regular chat. Comments. All right, let me put it in. I put information on the chat. So if you want to go check out click his link, follow him on LinkedIn, and ask him some questions. Shout out to check out We Different too. It's a brand that they working on, and just check it out. For me, remember everybody. Remember if you're on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and also if you're trying to get into the compliance space and you want to get hands-on experience to create poems, test controls, do all the documentation, and actually have a hands-on lab, check in rmfacademy.io to get that information. We do a cohort every month, and we got a lot of things coming on. So remember, everybody, get 1% better every day. Peace out. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.